Good evening. It is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you at the end of a very long work day for me. But I keep getting nudges to actually come on and tell you about my latest experience with the Nine and my latest experience with actually going aboard the Mothership again. My friend Amanda, I've been having QET sessions with her, and she was doing some channeling, and it was interesting because, as I've shared before, my dragons have told me they were stepping back so that I could step forward and reconnect with my galactic connections. So immediately she connected with my energy. She could feel that the dragons were not there, because she said every time we connect, like, the energy is like there. They're over my shoulder. They're like there. But so what I experienced was she was talking through, or she was channeling, and she had not had a galactic experience, so this was really interesting. So as soon as she said we were up in the stars, I was like, oh no, I'm going up to the Mothership, because the big disc appeared above my head again, and it is this like intense, like it's blinding light, but it was above my head, and it's like a big circle, probably, I don't know, but it sits above my head, and I'm like, and as I've mentioned before, I get this motion sickness, travel sickness, and I was like, oh no, please don't let me have sickness, because I'd asked them before, if you bring me up again, can we do it slowly? Don't like shoot me up there and then drop me back down. So I realized that I was actually up in the Mothership. And the interesting thing was that before, and I just listened to another reel that I did about connecting with the Mothership, where they were talking about removing attachments, and this time they had plugged in. With Amanda, it was on her right side. With me, I literally felt them plug in the back of my neck. And when I've had sessions with other people, we've talked about that there's something in the back of my neck. So I saw this like plug go in the back. It wasn't unpleasant, but they said they were vacuuming out these dark patches, dark energy. And I literally, it was like pulsating, pulling like my neck up. I could feel this sort of pulsating. And they said they were sort of, it was another cleanse. It was a deep level cleanse. And then I saw it was like our DNA, and we've seen DNA, but it was all these different colors. And what we gathered from it was that they were showing us that they light up our DNA with our colors. So when we're being upgraded, or that all of our DNA has its own colors. So I want to draw it. I've tried a couple of times and I can't yet. And I've just got The Art of Manifesting by Colette Brown Reed, which is again doing it's the neurographic drawing, which I absolutely love. It's sort of, and I feel I need to do some sort of artwork to express that. And then since this was on Monday night, I know this week has flown by, this was on Monday night, I have seen every morning, I've been on the road this week, and when I'm driving on 495, because I live in Massachusetts, the clouds, the craft, and they keep showing me they're stacked, they're like this, and you can see that they're behind the clouds, and I actually saw that sort of helix again. Well, they've just given me that name, the helix, the DNA. It was in the sky, and I'm like, okay, confirmation. So the energy is so different when you're working with the galactics, or you're receiving or communicating with them. it's very different. I'm so used to the dragon energy, like in your face, and this is sort of almost disembodied, um, but fascinating. And the fact that I have been invited to the ship again, the MotherShip, again is fascinating. And I don't see who's there. This experience was more like I was in this bright light, which they've also said was cleansing. So we were being literally worked on for, it feels like a long time, it was not long. But I've been receiving a different type of message, which again is, and the cards I've been pulling have been confirming these messages. So it's just fascinating to me that our connection with our galactic families, and for me it's this group of 9, which they've shared their representatives, their entities, from all the 9 planets, and that's why they call themselves the 9. And they've actually said there's many, many more, but people that connect with this energy or this particular, and then actually the colours that I saw and Amanda saw, they were green and gold, and they also talked about being a council. So it's the Green and Gold Galactic Council, which is part of the 9. And if you've heard, I was listening to a few different people who connect with groups of galactics, and it seems to be the same thing. They identify by a number or a letter, and they are here because, they're here. That's what they're saying. We're here. We want to communicate with you. There's a lot of talk and chatter and information coming in about disclosure. And again, they keep telling me that what we're being told is not the truth. And whatever is shown to us is not true. It's hype. It's, well, they say bullshit. But it's to hype us up. That, if you've seen some of the AI images, really, they think we're that silly, that these don't even look like galactics, and they're not always in human form, as some of you know. They don't have to be. We only need these bodies when we're here on Earth. They like to sometimes show themselves in certain ways, but they don't need to be in bodies because they're souls. And that's how I see them, as energy rather than a body. Now, I've seen some when I actually went to Garthia, which is inner Earth. They are more, they're galactic beings that live in the Earth. They're more human-like, or that's how, again, I saw them. And sometimes we see them how it makes sense to us. But this is making sense to me right now. So I just wanted to do a very brief, because I've got another busy day tomorrow. And if it comes to the weekend, I'll completely forget. So I'm also losing my voice because I've talked all day. And that is sort of actually, and I shared this, I think, on my weekly message. But as some of my spiritual side is slowing down. Oh, and the other message was about not to worry that we don't feel that we're doing, that those of us that are feeling like, am I doing enough? They're saying, yes, you need these periods of rest, because as the vibrations are going to come in, and I've just also seen that people are talking about the end of this month into July, the energy is going to be more and more intense. So this is a quiet period, and not to worry about it. And I realized that I have been putting pressure on myself, thinking I'm not doing enough or I'm not receiving. And they said that's perfectly fine, that we need to rest because we're in human bodies, and if we get bombarded too much with either light or energy, it can affect us. It has affected me in the past. But as we build up our tolerance, like this time when I came back down, I didn't have nausea, and it was a more, they're saying it was a perfect transition. I like that. They're going, it was perfect. It was like I feel myself going and then I'm gone. So yeah, it's interesting. So I'm going to probably ramble now because that's what I've been doing all day. We had to go into our work because we have a new commissioner, and we were doing a meet and greet, and then I was connecting with other people. So I was doing a lot of talking about my role and some of the things I'm doing, which was really exciting for me. And so as my sort of spiritual side is slowing down, my work life is getting pretty interesting, and it's stuff I love doing, and you can't go wrong if you're being paid for something you love doing. I mean, the last few years have been a challenge. I've now got a new boss, and she's like, go for it, you know, let's change things. So that's always exciting, and I feel like there are things I have to do until it's time for me to retire, hang up my hat, but I've got to pay the path. I've been in many jobs where I'm the first person, and there's the pioneer. We've been called all sorts of things, but yeah, lived experience. So I wanted to share that. I'm now rambled for 11 minutes. I hope some of this makes sense, and I'll be back in a few days.